Hi, this is Vikas Singh from Horizon, and today's video I am going to show you the installation and configuration of System Center Data Protection Manager 2016. So if you need our help to set up a data protection manager infrastructure for you or any other backup solution for you, you can contact us. Our contact details is given in below description. So let's move. Here is the data center protection overview page where you can see we can set up the data protection manager to take the backup of SQL Server, Exchange, SharePoint, file servers. Also we can take the backup of running virtual machines which is running on Hyper-V, VMware, or a physical computer or Microsoft Azure. So basically the System Center Data Protection Manager is a latest product which can support all the type of backup which we can assume in current infrastructure. So also you can see we have few types of advanced feature which is available in Data Protection Manager 2016, where we can see the application aware backup, like we can a DPM can understand SQL Server, Exchange Server, and SharePoint Server backup. Like these are the application by application type backup, and we have a central monitoring and reportings also available in DPM console, where we can do the central monitoring and reporting. And also we have cloud integration feature in DPM 2016, and of course automation, which we can automate our data center backup by using a data center DPM data protection manager. So let's move, and here we have a demo environment which we are going to use to install a System Center Data Protection Manager 2016. So in this demo I am using two virtual machine here. The first machine is Active Directory domain server, which is basically running Active Directory domain services and DNS services. So my domain name is horizon.co, and my domain controller is running on Windows Server 2012 R2. Here you can see, if I go to local server, you can see my server name, my domain name, my IP address, and if you see here, Active Directory and DNS role is running on this machine. And the second machine is DPM server, where we are going to install the data center protection and data protection manager 2016. So this machine is running on Windows Server 2016, and the IP address is 192.168.253, and I have assigned 32 gig of RAM to this machine, and domain name is horizon.co. So here you can see, so this is the fresh machine which I have just installed, and what I have done, I have renamed this machine, configure the IP address, and join in horizon.co domain. So this is the step which I have done, and you can see the machine details also here. So let's move, and here you can see the step-by-step data center protection manager 2016 installation. So the first task you can see I have marked as a green, in which we are doing rename the Windows Server 2016 and join in domain and restart. So I have already done this part, because you can see I have renamed this computer in Win2K12 Win2K16-DPM, and I have joined this machine in horizon.co. So we are good to go. So we can move to next step, which is install and configure SQL Server 2014 Service Pack 2. So I am going to perform this second step. So the first thing, I am going to mount the SQL Server 2014 installation media in my CD drive. So here SQL Server 2014 Service Pack 2. So before installing Service Pack 2, you need to SQL Server, you need to make sure you have installed .NET 3.5 SP1. So to verify or to install it, you can go to Manage, Add Role and Features, click Next, and Role Based Installation and Feature Base. So .NET 3.5 is a feature base, so we need to go on Features, and here you can see .NET Framework 3.5. So I have already installed this. If you have not installed this, you need to install this, and then you can run the SQL Server Setup. So I'm going to run the SQL Server Setup now. So here we are on the SQL Server Installation Center. Click on Install, and we need to install a new SQL Server standalone installation. So click on this, and this will launch the SQL Server 2014 installation wizard and a non-clustered environment. So we are good. So here we are on SQL Server 2014 setup wizard. So this is a demo environment, so I'm going to use the evaluation version. If you are doing in production, you need to put the product key for SQL Server. So go with the evaluation, click next, and I accept the license terms, click next, and now it will check some prerequisites. So we are good to go, click next, and on the product update click next, and now it's checking the installation setup file. So might be it will take some time, so we are good to go, and again it's checking some prerequisites for SQL Server 2014. So everything seems passed. We have a few warning related to firewall, so make sure you have allowed the required firewall port for SQL Server, which is going to communicate between SQL Server and DPM server. So acknowledge this and click next. Now we are going to install SQL Server feature installation, where we are going to install a database and few other services. So good to go, click next. And on this page, feature selection page, we need to select the database engine services, reporting services, and we need to select management tools. So these three features is required, so click on next. So now you need to select the instance name. So I'm going to use the default instance name, which is MS SQL Server. If you want to rename the SQL instance name, you can rename it from here. So I'm going with the default instance. Click next. Now I'm going to put the service account which is going to run the SQL Server services. So I'm going to use Origin DPM admin account, and I'm going to put the password for this account, paste again, and password for this account, click next. And the authentication security mode for administrator, so I'm going to use the Windows authentication mode, and I'm going to use the add the current user account, which is DPM admin, as a SQL Server administrator. So click next. And on the reporting services native mode, I'm going to install and configure it both. So click with the default option, next. And now you can see we have a final page where we can see all the wizard steps which we have selected and what we are going to do. So like features, we are going to install a database engine services, reporting service native, management tool basic and complete, and administrator, we are going to add a DPM admin, and service account, we have a Origin DPM account, and startup type is automatic. So also if you want to see the log file, you can go here and you can see the configuration file. So good to go. Click on install button to begin the installation for SQL Server 2014. So this installation will take around 4 to 5 minutes to get the installation done. So I'm going to pause the recording here. Once the SQL Server installation is done, we will write back and we will do some memory configuration in SQL Server 2014, and after then we are good to go and run the setup for SC DPM 2016. So I am pausing the recording here. So SQL Server 2014 installation is completed successfully. We can go ahead and close this. Also we can close the SQL Server Installation Center. Now I'm going to launch the SQL Server Management Studio. And we have a Windows authentication and the server name and connecting to database engine. So click connect, and here we are connected with the server, and I'm going to click right button properties, and under the memory I'm going to define the minimum memory is 10 gig and maximum memory I'm going to give 20 gig. Click OK, and now we are done with this step, which is install and configure SQL Server 2014 Service Pack 2, and now I'm moving to third step, which is run SC DPM 2016 installation. So I'm going to mount the installation media of System Center Data Protection Manager 2016. So here you can see we have a Data Protection Manager 2016. Open it. Now we need to run this setup, and this application is going to extract the installation files in a folder. So I'm going to extract in C drive and call it SC DPM 2016. Click next and extract. You can see here we have a folder SC DPM 2016. So wait till this extract is complete, then we can launch the setup. Click on finish. Now we have a setup. Double click on this setup to run the installation of SC DPM 2016. Now I'm going to run Data Protection Manager installations. Click I accept the license term. Click OK. And this is going to install some prerequisites, and then it will launch the installation wizard. So here we are. Welcome to the Microsoft System Center 2016 Data Protection Manager setup. Click next, and we need to specify the SQL Server name here. So I'm going to type Win2 K16 DPM and the instance name, which is MS SQL Server. Check and install. So this is going to install some basic component which is required to support Data Protection Manager 2016, and if any product component is missing, it's going to install it, and then might be we need to reboot this machine once after the installation. So you can see please wait while required Windows component is being installed. So you can see the missing prerequisite Hyper-V PowerShell has been installed. Restart the computer, run the application again. So I'm going to do this, restart the machine and going to run again setup. So it's working on features which we just installed. It's again rebooting. So Hyper-V rules require 2 reboots, so it's rebooting once again. So hit Ctrl Del to log in, and going to log in with DPM admin account. Now again I'm going to run the setup. So SC DPM 2016, run the setup.exe, and data protection manager. I accept the license term, click OK. Now we are good to go. Click next and type the server name. So win2k16 -dpm slash ms SQL Server. Check and install, and let's see all the prerequisites has been installed or not. So if everything is installed, it will going to take you to the next setup, next step, which is product registration. So everything passed successfully. We have a warning because we are running an instance in evaluation edition of SQL Server. So this is a demo environment, so we can ignore this alert. So click next. Now we need to type the details. So Vikasing origin, and I want you need to put the product key here. So I just enter my product key and click next. So DPM files, where this files installation files is going, so it's going in default C drive program file. So click next. Now for the Windows update, I'm not going to check for now, don't want to check. Click next, and here what we are going to do: username, company name, and we have SQL Server instance server where the instance is running, and the reporting service instance is also running on this machine, and the location. So click install to run the installation for Microsoft System Center 2016 Data Protection Manager. So if everything goes, it's going to install the DPM server in 5 to 10 minutes. So we have to wait now till this installation is completed and we have successfully installed the Data Protection Manager. So I am pausing the recording here. Once the DPM is installed, we'll go to next step, which is log into DPM's 2016 console and verify DPM server. So I'm going to pause the recording for now. So now you can see the Microsoft System Center Data Protection Manager installation is completed successfully. So everything seems good. Go ahead and close this. And now we have a DPM management shell and DPM console both on my screen. So double click on console to connect with the DPM server. So now you can see we have monitoring, production, recovery, reporting, and management. So basically management, where we can add the disk, we can do the registration for our DPM server with the Azure backup services, and we have library, we have agent to deploy agents on a client machine where we are going to take the backup of the servers, and we have reporting. We can pull out the report for disk utilization, recovery point status, and the tape management, tape utilization, everything. And we have a recovery where we can see the recovery point, and we can initiate the recovery for these recovery service points. And we have a production where we can see all the jobs which is running, what is produced, and we can see also all the production group here. And we have monitoring where we can see all the jobs status, and if any alert is there like critical warning information, we can see here. So this is all about the Data Protection Manager 2016 installation and post installation verification. So thank you for watching, and if you need our help to set up a backup solution on such as Data Protection Manager for your infrastructure, you can contact us. Our contact details is given in below description. Thank you once again. Bye bye.